Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is a new Show&Tell from Peter, that's me. Today we will be looking at the Seiko Prospex Kinetic GTM diver's watch. It has the number SUN019P. P1, sorry, P1. I'll repeat that. SUN019P1. That's the reference number of this watch. Right, so first of all, let's have a look at the stats. Okay, the driving system in this is obviously a kinetic. The caliber number of this kinetic movement is 5M85. The case is stainless steel. The band is stainless steel as well. Glass material is sapphire crystal. The glass coating has been coated with an anti-reflective coat. Water resistance 200 meters. The case diameter is 47.5. It weighs 245 grams, and that is with full bracelet and all the links. This has not been resized. Okay, it has a power reserve button where you press this and it will show the power reserve by 5 seconds. So if it shows just 5 seconds, you probably need to charge it. If it shows 15 seconds, it's fully powered. Right, a GTM hand. That's the little skeletonized hand you see down there. It has a rotating bezel, obviously, with a very, very crisp sound. Very nice indeed. You can hear it very well. It's a little bit tight, but I think with use it will probably be easier to turn. There you go. It has a screw down case back. It's obviously, as it's a 200-meter dive, anything else wouldn't do. Screw down crown and a screw down button. It has a threefold clasp with a secure lock. That's that one there. Push button release and an extender, which is that one there. Oh, sorry, wait a minute. There it is. That's the one. Okay. That aside, okay, let's have a look at this watch and have a chat about it. There are two things which are quite obvious with this watch right off the shelf. That is, one, it has a bit of a strange shroud, and two, it's a GTM. A GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. Sorry. Now, let's talk about the shroud first. Now, I haven't had this watch in my hands before. I'd seen it in shop windows, and I had seen it online. And I thought to myself, well, what's the point of that shroud? It looks like the case is actually the shroud. And then I thought to myself, because I've done a lot of diving, I've done a lot of wreck diving and cave diving in my life. And I thought to myself, so what happens if you bang this shroud against something in a wreck, which is, you always hit stuff when you're in wrecks. And what happens if this gets bent and you can't turn the bezel? Do you have to change the whole case? And I thought that to be a bit counterproductive and stupid. Until I got the watch in my hand and actually found out that it does have a sort of a shroud. These are buttons that hold the shroud in place. Now, my English is sometimes false, but what actually happens here is that the bracelet actually sits on the shroud. Now, if you take these out, you can actually take out the watch module right out there, that way. So you wouldn't have to change the whole case, as the watch is in its case of its own. But you would have to change this whole area here. But still, I find it a bit amusing that one would do that. This case is beautifully engineered. It really has some very, very nice lines. Very aesthetically pleasing, very well done, very, very fine machined. But if you were to bang this, you'd have to change the whole case. Not case, but this whole very, very big shroud that the watch module actually sits in. And that, because if you take a more conventional Seiko, as it is, you can see that if you bang this, you just take out these screws and you just take out the shroud, and you can put a new undamaged shroud back on. Whereas this, it will be more difficult and probably also more costly. I'm not sure about that, but so that aside, I'm not sure that I actually like the look of this shroud. I mean, other people say that it's absolutely beautiful, and it, you know, it's, I don't know, it has that sort of volcano shape that I'm not that, I'm not that chuffed about. There's no denying that this watch is a brute of a diver. I mean, it really is in its own way a very good looking diver. I have, maybe it's because I'm a bit set in my ways about shrouded Seikos. I'm an old man, 43 years old, and old men tend to be grumpy and think that things should stay exactly the way they are, where they were when they were young. And this might be what's going on with me. I don't hate this watch, not at all. And there are some things I do like about it, but I have a bit of a problem with the shape of the shroud. Yeah. Okay. One thing I do find very cool is that it's a GMT, because divers nowadays, recreational sports divers, do a lot of traveling, and the idea that you hop on a plane in Denmark and 2 days later you're rubbish. 1 day later you're in Mauritius, and you cross maybe several time zones, or you're in Florida Keys and you go to Europe to dive or somewhere like that, and you'll be crossing time zones, and that's why this is a very, very good idea to make this watch a GMT. So that impresses me. I like that a lot. It has some pretty cool functions. Let's see if I can. If you pull this once out, you move the hour hand, and that's actually the way that you set the date. Now you can set the date forward like that, but let's say you're on a plane and you cross a time zone, and now it's no longer the third, but it must be the second here. So you can actually move it back, and then you pull it all the way out, and then you can set the clock, watch, sorry, to the time in the country in which you're landing, whereas the small skeletonized GMT hand will still tell you what time it is back home, and I like that. That's pretty cool, Now, people have always said, but a GMT watch is only for pilots, and that was true back in the '60s when Pan Am, made the first Rolex GMT master for Pan Am pilots. Because they were flying all over. But nowadays, people are jumping on planes all the time, and especially divers, because professional divers are not professional, but sports divers. They fly everywhere to go dive. Australia, Thailand, places like that. So it's really cool that it has a GTM function. So thumbs up for that. That's really awesome. They should make some more dive watches with that function as well. The kinetic movement, a true and tried Seiko movement. Seiko excel at making these. That's their, that's what they do. They're really good at it. I would probably have enjoyed this watch if you could get it both with a kinetic movement and also an automatic. But there you have it. It's been made, with a kinetic movement. The old kinetic movements were a bit like owning a dog. You had to walk it every day, or you'd be in trouble. But these new kinetic movements are awesome. You have like if you've worn it for some time, you have like a 6 month what do you call it, energy stored. And that's awesome. Anyway, so my final impression of this watch after having had it is, the build is brilliant, the movement is excellent, the quality is superb, the looks, personally, I like the more conventional shrouded diver from Seiko, but I'm an idiot, so don't take my word for it. But that's just my personal opinion, and that's the only opinion I have. Yeah, and so I would have perhaps liked a different look for the shroud here. But again, I love it that it has a GMT, and so all in all, this is a cool watch. It is. It is. Don't be taken aback. If you like the design of this watch more than I do, then this is a perfect watch for you. I mean, because everything else just works. It's just a typical Seiko quality, as always, as I always say. And there you are. There you have it. With those words, I'm going to say thanks very much for watching. And today we had to talk about the Seiko Prospex Kinetic GMT diver's watch. And it is a diver's watch, by the way. I don't know if I've shown you, but it does have the Seiko tsunami tried and true sign of a real true diver. So no illusions there. This is a full-blooded diver. Anyway, thanks very much. If you like listening to my videos, then please feel free to like and subscribe, share my videos, and just generally enjoy them. Thanks very much, guys. Bye-bye.